Oh yeah, ticka ticka. Welcome to Sync Floyd, the podcast where we watch every movie ever made to see if it syncs up with Pink Floyd's 1973 magnum opus, The Dark Side of the Moon. It's your boy, Gareth Blackler, aka Ferris Bueller, aka Ed Swooney, aka Boy in Police Station, coming at you, and my co-host, it's your boy, James Barron, aka Slamrin Fry, aka Sloane Yeaterson, aka Garage Attendant. Hello, James.
Hi, I'm happy to be here. I'm at my post at the garage. I've been looking after various cars all day, and now I'm ready to talk with my friend.
Oh, yes.
It's not a glamorous nickname, but hey, I've got to put in the work if I want to keep it.
I quite liked Slamrin Fry.
Slamrin Fry is very strong.
Yeah.
I'm happy to have that one. Yeah, absolutely.
I remember having an argument with an old friend about whether I came up with Ferris Bueller or he did, and then we both stole it from the internet.
Oh, there you go. That's all right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It's a damn good one. Oh, Ferris Bueller. It's like, it doesn't really work because it's not the same kind of sound.
No.
But it's close enough, right?
Yeah.
You know, you get the points. People hear it and they go, oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if I had tried to write it, I would have tried to get the ooh sound, like Ferris Cooler, and that doesn't work. So,
It's kind of
I
better.
clearly don't have claim to it. Oh, thank you.
I don't know. Yeah.
Now, James, why are we talking about Ferris Bueller so much?
Oh, it's just out of habit, really. No, we watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the classic film from 1986, I think. Yeah.
Yes, very hard to keep that date in my mind for some reason. I think we've done another 1986 movie, and I've been unable to hold that number.
Yeah, that's all right. There's a lot of good shit. A lot of good films coming out in 1986, probably, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the old John Hughes joint feeling good story about teenagers. You know?
Yeah.
Famous for these kind of things.
Heck yeah. You had a Save Ferris t-shirt in high school, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. I think I still do. I don't know where it is. It got to the point where, like, you know how you own t-shirts that you would wear and then slowly they become unwearable outside of your own home? They'd they ascend to, or descend depending, to pajama status. And then if they reach that level and for some time, they eventually become just unwearable clothes. I think it's at that stage, and that it's ballooned out by me trying to tuck my legs inside of it as I'm watching movies or something, and it's now like mostly a sheet, or like it's probably about like 3 sizes bigger than it was when I first got it. So there you go.
Because often for me, it's entirely in my head. Like, it's a psychological switch from real shirt to pajama shirt. So I'm often careful not to wear a t-shirt I really like to bed, because I don't want to begin to see it as pajamas. And then once it slips below pajamas and becomes shirt I just own because it was gift.
That's fair. No. Yeah. You can't go back is the real problem. If you wear if something becomes a pajama shirt, it's all over, you know? Oh.
Unless you tie-dye it. That's been my big 2021 tip.
There you go. You can revitalize an old shirt through tie-dye.
Oh yeah, I tie-dyed a t-shirt that was a Halloween costume, which is a completely different part of the spectrum.
Holy shit, that's next level. That's like,
'cause I think
very frugal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably extravagant to buy a t-shirt just for Halloween, but you know.
Not really. I had one of my Halloween costumes was just t-shirts once. It was very good. I pretended I didn't have a Halloween costume prepared, and I arrived in like a Halloween costume that I had from previous years. I just recycled it, but I took that off halfway through the night, pretending like, oh, I'm sick of wearing this Halloween costume that I hate. And underneath I was wearing just a white t-shirt that said, what did the first one say? I think the first one said crippling debt. And they were all just things that you should be afraid of, like really things that you should be scared of. And throughout the night, I would make an excuse just to disappear, like go to the bathroom or something, and come back in the exact same shirt, but with a different like phrase on it. And I had about 4 or 5.
That is so good.
It was really good, yeah. It was a very cheap last-minute Halloween costume, but it was bloody smart, and people loved it. So
Heck yeah.
yeah, I had.
And now you just own a shirt that says crippling debt.
Yeah, there was crippling debt. There was social anxiety, global warming, and spiders. I'm pretty sure spiders was my favorite.
Yeah.
Just
Please tell me you still wear spiders around.
The issue is that like they became pajama shirts almost immediately, and that like how I made them was just with like a bit of Vivid. So
yeah.
So not exactly machine washable safe, you know. So
yeah.
And almost immediately retired into pajama shirts, but I got use out of them, so it wasn't a complete waste of the old $5 white warehouse t-shirt. But yeah, hot Halloween tip, early stages here in May when this is probably coming out.
Yeah.
Get amongst, just if you're at a loss at this stage, there you go. That's a freebie from your old mate, Slammer and Fry. Ferris Bueller. Should we talk about it?
Yeah, well first, James, this film obviously inspired a generation of days off, like, or the dream of a day off. Have you had a day like this?
I've definitely bunked off school. the old truancy cops are going to swerve into my driveway and pick me up any minute, but
make you redo all those years.
Yeah, no, the closest that I can think of like bunking off school to like do something fun, I like left school early so that I could watch the 4th Indiana Jones movie when that came out.
Oh boy.
And that was not a great decision in retrospect. I thought it was great. I was like, oh man, I'll just leave at like midday and then just go to the movies. It'll be awesome. And then I chose the wrong movie, but never mind. I'm pretty sure they're making a 5th Indiana Jones right now, and Harrison Ford is still signed on.
Yeah, the cast is
it's wild to me that he's still making them.
Yeah. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is signed on as well.
Yo! Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's going to be a wild movie. I don't know where you can possibly go from spoilers for Indiana Jones 4. It's just going to be one word, so skip ahead like 10 seconds in your podcatcher. Aliens! I don't know where you can go from that. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. The devil? Who's
they kind of already did the religious thing, right? With the first one.
True, yeah.
So, yeah. But that was more like the righteous acts of God, like destroying Nazis. So that was such a wild end to a film. Oh, my God.
What a great film that also may have came out in 1986. There's no way to tell.
There's no way of knowing, sadly.
No.
But should we talk about this film? The old. What about you? Actually, no. I've got to ask you the question you asked me. Did you have a bunking adventure, a sick day that led to good times?
Nah. See, you'd think because I asked that it was I was keying myself up for like an epic story about when I went to Chicago on my day off. I was so terrified of breaking the rules as a child. And a teen. I think I one time might have hung around after my bass guitar lesson and not gone back to maths class, and the anxiety was so strong I couldn't do it again.
Yeah, the truth is that we're just a couple of Camerons, eh? You know? Like that's the secret of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, is that like Cameron represents like what being a real teenager is like. And Ferris is just what every teenager or at least what every teenage boy wants to be and do, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's successful.
Oh yeah. By that token, how do you feel about that fan theory that Cameron is just imagining Ferris?
Oh, that's kind of wild. That doesn't explain the stuff with Sloane. It's like a Fight Club thing happening or something like that. Oh,
I think he's imagining Sloane as well. The idea is that he's got a crush on the real Sloane, and I think the real Ferris did die, and that's why there's all the Save Ferris stuff around.
Oh my god!
So he's just imagining that he was friends with this Ferris guy, and he got to be friends with Sloane as well.
Man,
it doesn't explain Rooney or Jeannie, but who's to say?
I can't handle that theory. I don't like that. It makes a way too fun film incredibly dark.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think John Hughes is thinking that when he made that. But,
No, well, he wrote this in a week, apparently.
whoa, man,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
he would just fire off screenplays so quickly. Like, I think he kept it going after he died. Like, he'd just write screenplays with no intention of getting them made, just because he enjoyed writing them.
Cool. I mean, yeah, very
Yeah.
prolific director in that he's made like a shit ton of films, like upwards
heck yeah.
of 50, I think, which is wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. Let's talk about
That's your fan theory review.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems too dark for me, but it's a fun theory.
I've got no real time for fan theories, really, unless I come up with them, in which case I think they're the best thing ever.
Yeah. That's the real secret.
Yeah. That's probably everyone's fan theory relationship.
Fan theories, they're for the fans. That's the real truth. The truth, the kernel of truth, right there. All right.
That scene in Peter Pan where you have to clap because you believe in fairies, that's my fan theory.
Oh, fan theory. Yeah.
That didn't work.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, no, I get it. That's good. Yeah, the old Tinkerbell, she loved the fan theory.
Oh, would that have been better? Who's to say? So this movie, James, how does it sync with Pink Floyd?
Let's find out, eh? Let's get on the bus, get on the school bus, and figure it out. You know, let's do it. Opening titles, speak to me. Here we go, kicking it off, baby. Yeah, this film starts with old Ferris doing like a very like cutesy schmaltzy kind of act for his parents where he's pretending that he's super sick. It's honestly a bit much.
Broderick. Heck yeah. And Matthew Broderick being like 26 at the time.
Yeah.
Very strange. He's looks older in this scene than he looks in any other role he's ever done.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, he's supposed to look sick, right? So he's pretending to be sick. If you're doing a convincing job as a teenager, you might look 26. You know? Your voice is
all
way
26-year-olds
deeper.
are sick teenagers.
Yeah, that's true. That's bloody
Yeah, but it's like visible stubble and everything. It just makes the fact he's going like, "Oh, mumsy, I'm ill," which is not a direct quote.
No good. Yeah. No good. So the only one who's not buying this act is Jeannie or Jean, his sister, who's coming in, and she's great. I love her in this film. But yeah, she's just like real sick of his shit. She says she wants out of this family. And then it's just like the parents buy it and go off to work and give him all this like advice of how to get better. And then there's like he like rises up in bed and we're into the movie proper. We get like a intro kind of, he does lots of monologues or like soliloquies almost to camera. You know, where he's just like addressing the fourth wall, breaking the fourth wall and addressing camera directly with his like what he's thinking about, which is fun. And first sync here is that like him having fun. The organ trill sound in Breathe, there's like the Hammond organ coming in that syncs up with the MTV opening ripping into screen, which I'm very happy with. He's just like discussing all the ways to like fake sick effectively. I'm amazed this like flew in the movie, and that like it's like a step-by-step guide to get out of school. Yeah, where the key demographic probably are teenagers, right? Oh man, amazing.
I can't imagine being the person in the censor board though who was like, no, I don't want kids being sick or faking sick. You've got to cut this scene. Like, you'd feel like such a wet blanket.
You really would. Don't want to be the Ed Rooney of the censor board who just like is the truancy Nazi. You know, he's a nasty boy. But we get into On the Run. There's no real other syncs with Breathe that I caught, but On the Run.
Neither.
Where he's like setting up this Rube Goldberg ass like machine of stuff to convince his parents that he's lying in bed sick if they come home to check on him. And it's cool that you don't see this until later and he's setting it up now at the start of the day. Yeah, but you're not even really supposed to notice it. You're supposed to be just like watching him doing stuff, having fun while he's talking about this other stuff, which is neat. And then we get his famous the like famous line from the movie where he's saying, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you might miss it. And that's the core to Ferris Bueller's Day Off is this statement. It's like the theme of the film, really. And that he's just like, Ferris Bueller as a character is this person who wants to enjoy life all the time. He doesn't have time for school in this way because, he wants to enjoy himself and he's feeling like he's missing the chance if he's going to school. Yeah.
Yeah. Interestingly, contemporary critics, like critics in 1986, hated this about him. They thought he was being so, like, selfish and materialistic.
I mean, he kind of is. Like,
for sure, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, like I say, he's the polar opposite to Cameron, right? Like, that, like, he's just this insane character who couldn't be real. Who, like, gets away with everything and, like, is this roguish, handsome devil, that is Matthew Broderick. And he's like, it would be very frustrating, I imagine, and that, like, he's inspiring this, like, I don't know, like, what Ed Rooney says about him is definitely true, and that, like, he inspires, like, these followers of, like, disciples that gather around him and worship him, So, yeah.
Ed Rooney, probably every time there's, like, a cult on the news or, like, he hears about some sort of organized crime, turns the volume up on the news to be like, now say Ferris Bueller started it.
And they never do. And he's always like, I bet he was there. Inciting the riots. Bastard.
At the end of The Dark Knight, he stays on and he's like, based on the true story of Ferris Bueller. That's the Joker.
Wow. Man, crazy. Poor guy.
Yeah.
It definitely becomes an obsession for him over the movie, yeah.
Heck yeah.
Oh my god. Especially, he might give up at the end, but we have to see once we get there. We get, immediately after this is another great scene with the teacher calling the roll very slowly. This teacher's performance is great, and in fact, all the teachers in this movie are pretty awesome. This guy, I love that he has to say, like, 8 different variations of A names because Buell is so early in the alphabet.
Yeah, this roll goes A, B, and then immediately to F. Like,
it's wild. Yeah. A lot of strange, A names.
I wonder what, like, small town Illinois was up to.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. The
only wilder roll.
It's just...
Oh, sorry. The only wilder roll...
so jarring.
Like, roll? Is that the common term? The only wilder roll call in alphabetization
rolls,
is,
right?
In any movie, is in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, when they just jump around the surnames that you can get all the main characters fit in.
That's incredibly frustrating. I don't know why they have it random in Philosopher's Stone. That I could talk about that for a while. Oh, what are they doing? The only other character is bloody Susan Bones. Its main characters in Susan Bones.
A main character to us all.
Definitely. Yes. But yeah, he's like, Bueller, anyone? Bueller? And then, after that, go to Fry, and then we cut to Cameron, who legitimately is sick. He's at home sick. We see his house up. His house is stunning. I would live here. It's this, like, place on stilts above a forest.
Yeah.
It's clearly his family are, like, super wealthy, but they're, like, into this. Ferris's family are probably super wealthy as well, but they have, like, a more traditional American townhouse kind of style. And he lives in this, like, art mansion instead up here. It looks really nice. But
it's the kind of place, like, you'd take a robot to in a, like, A24 film. It's so artsy and cold and beautiful.
I'm here to convince a robot how to love. Teach him in this forested art house. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
That's my dream for my future. I'm just looking for the right robot.
You just take, like, this sad toaster and teach it how to love.
Yeah, that's the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God. I can't think of a good enough... What would you call that film? The old
Yeah, crumbs.
crumbs.
Crumbs of humanity.
Wow. Yep. That's it. You nailed it in one. Holy shit. I laughed so hard that I'm sitting on an office chair right now. I laughed so
Ooh.
hard that I hit the lever of the office chair and like fell down. So there you go.
Wow, that is a slapstick comedy moment that would not be out of place in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
No, absolutely. It would fit right in. I could see
Yeah.
old Ed Rooney doing that on the phone. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So yeah, he's lying in bed sick and gets a call from Ferris, who's trying to convince him to come out to basically just drive him around because Ferris doesn't have a car. That's his like key failing.
Yeah.
He did a lot of complaining about not having a car.
Ferris Bueller is some sort of car sociopath, I think.
Yeah.
Sociopath. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's the vital thing any teenager must have at this time,
Yeah.
apparently, at least to get around Chicago. But yeah, he's basically wanting to use Cameron in this way for his day off, you know. But
Yeah.
also because Cameron's his best friend and he wants to like get him involved. And yeah, so he's trying to convince Cameron to come out. But yeah, he's lying in bed like fully sick. There's a great bit where he like hangs up the phone frustrated and says just to the room, "I'm dying." And then
Yeah.
like Ferris immediately calls him back and says, "You're not dying," like he can hear him or like he knows that that's what he would say. It's really good. Yeah, and it's intercut with Ferris on the other line, who's like in a like holiday sun lounger drinking a tiki drink,
Yeah.
like out in the sun. It's really good. And then Cameron says my favorite line I think in the whole film when he just sings this little tune.
Oh, yes.
When Cameron went to Egypt's land, let my Cameron go. It's so good.
It's so relatable because I like any song I sing about whoever's nearby, or especially if you have a pet, like those kind of songs are exactly what you're doing.
Oh, definitely.
Like, let my mittens go.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's very good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Cameron, such a good, relatable teenager,
for sure.
played by a man who was 29 at the time.
Oh my god, unreal.
Yeah,
I had no
right?
idea. I didn't know they were so old, but I think it's just because I watched this movie when I was like super young. I think I watched
Yeah.
this for the first time when I was like 11, and like
Wow.
it was fairly formative for me. And that I became a good for nothing kid shortly after.
Yeah. Well, you're also like, I remember in high school you were into like cool synthesizers and computers and the Beatles, which are all like Ferris's
Yeah.
hobbies as well.
It's true, definitely.
Yeah, and you were constantly outwitting a local dean.
Yeah, me and Mr. Gill, I was just back and forth constantly. Oh, what's he like?
That pull of Mr.
My-
Gill is for nobody except me.
Mr. Gill was a lovely man. He was a maths teacher, and he rode on a very small scooter comparatively to him. And my like most clear memory of Mr. Gill is I used to live very near some train tracks, and I was walking to school one day, and then I see Mr. Gill just like gunning it over these train tracks and getting air in his scooter, and I just stop, like nearly get run over by some cars because I'm transfixed by this, and I say, "Holy shit, it's Mr. Gill," and then he waved to me. It was amazing.
That is perfect. Like, you know how you joke like, oh, what if teachers are really cool outside of school? You've got the proof.
I do. Mr. Gill was sweet. Oh,
He's
man.
also like carrying a stolen artifact.
Yeah, he's rescued it from some bandits. He's going to be in the next Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wouldn't put it past him.
No.
Yeah, so that line, my favorite line there with the song that happens over the clocks to time, which I'm happy about. I did note that the crash sound doesn't really sync over anything before that.
No.
The on the run crash, as we are wont to note there. But yes, we do get that syncing just for me, really.
Yeah, really.
Syncing
I
with
don't
my
know if
favorite
you're.
line.
Yeah, that's gonna have to be like one of those tiebreaker points if it was just for you, not for science.
Okay. Yeah, true.
But yeah. But then again, what is the show other than just for us? We just talked about Mr. Gill for 5 minutes.
Hey man, I'm happy to do a whole episode about Mr. Gill. If I can get Mr. Gill on the show, I will.
Oh,
All right, we'll watch one of his favorites. He gets to pick. It'd be great.
Don't tempt me. I could track him down.
Hit me up, Mr. Gill. I'm sure you know what a podcast is. All right, yeah. So, yeah, this is where we get into meeting Ed Rooney, our key antagonist, the Dean.
Yeah.
Quite neatly, in that we roll into him after talking about Mr. Gill forever. And, he's on the phone with Ferris's mum, being like, Ferris has missed school 9 times this year, and he's wanting to, like, hold him back a year and not let him graduate, because they're in the last year of high school here.
Yeah.
Ferris hacks into the mainframe using his like DOS computer from the 80s and changes these absences live as Rooney watches, which I think is great.
Yeah. So the real kid that Ferris Bueller was inspired by had 27 absences.
Holy shit.
So you could read that Ferris had 27 and had already hacked it down to 9?
Quite possibly, yeah.
Yeah, although he does also tell us, the audience, that he's only had 9. So.
Can you tell me more about the real kid that Ferris was based on? I didn't know that I didn't know this was based on anything. I thought it was just a key script.
Edward McNally was rumoured as the inspiration for the character Ferris Bueller, who grew up on the same street as John Hughes, and was also relentlessly pursued by his school dean.
Oh, wow. Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real, like, John Hughes would go on to make the Dennis the Menace adaptation as well.
Really?
Yeah, and so that tracks, and that's a very similar kind of story. Yeah. I don't think he would make Dennis the Menace, like, the idea, but he definitely made, like, an adaptation. I did note in my notes here that we're in time now, and Time's vocals and lyrics are fairly well matched to... and that it's all about getting older, you know, and time slipping away from you and being, out of touch and not... time moves pretty fast, Gareth. Life moves pretty fast, all right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's what time's about, too, you know?
Oh, I didn't click to that. That's good. That is a good call.
Yeah, so that, like, I was paying close attention in particular with Time, when Time was playing, because I figured that would be some good matches. Sadly, not a lot on this playthrough.
No.
But anyway, I just wanted to note that was something that I was doing. We cut back to an economics lesson, which is incredibly relatable for me in particular. And that, it's just these kids being super bored in this class. We get like a lot of shots of their faces like frozen and like very upset. But yeah, it's the same guy from the intro.
Yeah, very strange things about this. So this is Ben Stein. He improvised this lecture.
Dang.
Because he loves this stuff, because his career start was a speechwriter for Nixon.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
He fucking nails it. Like, I think it's like relatively interesting stuff that he's talking about. But like, the delivery for these scenes is just so well done, and that it's like so insufferably slow. Oh, it's great. And he keeps asking the class like for participation, and no one offers anything. It's so painful. I've been in this lecture, you know? Yeah,
same.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man.
Another interesting thing is he quotes then Vice President George Bush, and when as in George H.W., the Daddy Bush.
Yes.
Strike that from the record. But then later, when Daddy Bush, also struck from the record, became president, Nancy Bush, Nancy or Mrs. his wife, quoted this movie, so it was a full circle.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Man, the quote circle is complete.
Yeah.
I'm glad that she's the only one in this situation not stricken from the record as well. It's very good. Strike everyone else. She's the only one that matters for that fact.
Any other president gets mentioned this episode, they're getting beeped.
Dang. Okay.
No! Oh, some of them I don't know. I didn't know.
No.
Thanks to Hamilton.
No, good. Thanks, Hamilton, teaching us American politics. You don't have to bleep his name. Oh, got him.
Oh.
Roasted.
You burnt.
Never gonna be president now. So we cut back to, like, this is juxtaposed with old mate Ferris just dancing around in his bedroom over some time. It's great.
Playing the clarinet at one point.
Yeah. Just busting out a solo for time. I don't know. I don't think there's any clarinet in time that I'm aware of, but maybe there is.
No, I doubt it.
Lurking in the background. It's a fairly like low key instrument, the clarinet, and a lot of the woodwind section are underappreciated, no doubt. But
heck yeah.
Yeah, they like fade in. In the orchestra, fun fact, like the woodwinds are like the hardest to hear a lot of the time, other than like flute, which is very in your face. But like, all those bassy boys just like lurking in the shadows. If you sneak in there with the bassoon, no one's gonna know what you're playing. You know, you do whatever.
My brief run in the school orchestra as second bass guitarist, no one was hearing me either.
Oh no.
It was a pity roll and a half. I was standing behind the real bass guitarist.
Just slapping open E. Just
yeah.
Here we go, keeping time.
Turning his pages.
Oh. Man, that's some strong Whiplash energy. Never mind. How did we not get into that in that pod? Oh well.
I'd blanked it out until you brought up sneaking in with a bassoon.
Oh, there you go. Too much trauma.
Actually, it's probably the mentioning of Mr. Gill that brought back all my high school memories.
Oh, sweet. Hopefully we get some more high school anecdotes then as we go through. We get into a bit of great gig now. The Ed Rooney's discussing with his secretary, who I don't remember writing down her name, which is really bad. She's great though. There's a bit where she pulls a whole bunch of pins out of her hair, and I think that's her intro. It's just really sums her up. It's very good.
Yeah.
She's talking about how all the kids love Ferris. Like everyone's on his side and not on Ed's side. So this is the final bit is old mate Ferris. He's calling Cameron again, trying to get him to come over. He's just drawing porn on MS Paint on his computer.
Right? That's so weird.
It's super weird, but I mean, it's the 80s, right? You can't like download a JPEG because it's going to take 1,000 years. You got to draw your own porn in MS Paint.
Yeah, or go to the library or something.
Library porn. What kind
Open the phone book to the sexy pages.
What? What are these sexy pages in the phone book? Oh
I definitely remember in primary school we'd look at like the art books in the school library and find a painting of a naked person and be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
but they used to advertise like massage parlors in the Christchurch phone yellow pages.
Oh right, so
and they've recently stopped that.
I mean, fair. So there's just like tiny like square ads of like a lady in lingerie or something, and that's like the most titillating thing in the bloody yellow pages. Goodness gracious!
I wonder what would have been going for. I'm trying to remember who showed me that. It would be one of my like weird friends.
Yeah,
that you just have like the friends you're not really friends with, but like. They're free after school because they also don't play sport. So you're like, well, I guess we're friends now.
I guess so. What are you up to? Well, I was gonna go to the library and look at some ad spots. And you're like, okay. And then you see this and you're like, oh no. Goodness me. That's wild.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's quite tastefully done as MS Paint art though. Like
yes, yeah.
It's like the old Titanic shot of a lady just lounging, you know?
Yeah, she's looking very empowered, I think.
Pretty impressive. But yeah, trying to convince Cameron to come over. This is like the key comparison is being put on display here, with just the difference between these two characters that I've talked about already. And then like talking about how he is sure that Cameron's just like sitting in his car deciding whether to come or not, and we cut to him doing exactly that. And this acting by the person who plays Cameron is incredible. It's just like the anguish of trying to decide to do something or not do something. It's like a really small bit of like character acting for like one shot that is really great. He like walks off screen out. He like decides not to go and walks off screen outside his car. And then like you see him walking towards the car at the back window, and he just like stops and starts like punch dancing in anger. It's so great. I really love it. There's a lot of stuff I love about Cameron.
Yeah, I reckon favorite character and like old Alan Ruck is acting his little hockey shirt off of this. It's so good.
His 29-year-old self is really making me believe that he's an angsty high school student. So great work, Mr. Ruck. You didn't rock this one up.
There you go.
Yeah. Then we see Sloane's in a lecture, and this is the potential girlfriend of Ferris, right? And that I think she is his girlfriend, right?
Stage. She's totally his girlfriend.
Yeah, and
actually, it's a good point. I assumed so, but maybe it's supposed to be a bigger deal when they're smooching.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but she's getting like pulled out of class by the school nurse, saying that her grandmother has passed away. I really like that she like starts packing up before getting this news. Because she knows exactly what's about to happen. It's so good. Yeah,
and very interestingly, well, barely interestingly, depending on how much you hear about long form improv, the English teacher is played by Del Close, founder of the Second City and like the hero of the like Harold method.
Oh, so hell yeah!
What's up, dorks? That's a really cool thing.
Word to all my dorks.
Yeah.
No, he's great. I really liked his performance, and that like his shtick as a bad lecturer is that he takes massive pauses between every single word that he says. He's like, in what way? And it's like, I just want to scream being in that lecture. It's just the best. And she's been pulled out of class to get picked up for this funeral that's about to happen. And Mr. Peterson is her father and gives the Rooney a call on the old phone. And he thinks that it's old. Rooney thinks that it's old Ferris Bueller doing a playful trick. But in fact, Ferris Bueller calls on line 2. Oh my gosh! But it's
what?
Yeah, it's a bloody jape and a jest from old mate Cameron, who's doing a fantastic voice to pretend to be this like wise guy Chicagan father of Sloane. He's great. He like Rooney tries to call his bluff basically, and then like says all these horrible things, and then Cameron's like, "You're an asshole, sir." Down the phone. It's so good. Like telling him to produce a body and stuff like that. And then so they it's a sweet gambit by Ferris and Cameron. The power play is here.
Heck yeah. I initially found it a bit strange that these two are so good at like voices and impressions and sounds and stuff and doing bits. Like initially I was like, oh yeah, you're actors in your 20s. But then, like, the more I thought about it, the more, like, that was what being a small-town teenager was all about, was just trying to do funny voices to make your friends laugh and just getting way too into it and having weird characters like your Mr. Peterson voice.
Yeah.
So, I'm all aboard.
Super impressive. Yeah, Cameron's been practicing all his life playing, like, D&D and stuff for this moment, you know? Like, he's been Mr. Peterson many times in the past.
Mr. Peterson the Paladin.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. I love him. And they managed to get Sloane out of school. And at the end of this like gambit, there's Cameron's like, I want her out front of the school in 10 minutes and I'll come pick her up. And then like Ferris thinks that's like too easy and that they'll get found out. It'll be too suspicious. And so Cameron's like, okay, so he will, he's like, and I want you there as well, Rooney, because I want to say some things to you. So, and that's like even worse because now how are they going to get her without Mr. Rooney figuring something out? So yeah. There's like a brief like fight between the two of them, and then they like make up. It's really quite sweet in that Cameron gets like all offended because he's trying to do the right thing, and Ferris is like freaking out on him. But yeah, there's like a good moment of friendship between them when they like apologize to each other. It's really cool.
That's a nice way. Yeah, it's very nice to notice it.
Yeah, it's very good. And yeah, so the plan is, but the thing is, like, the only way they're going to get away with this, Gareth, is they need a small favor. Ferris needs a small favor, and that's to borrow Cameron's dad's car, which is the 1961 Ferrari 250 GT California, baby. That is a good looking car. Never before has the Oh Yeah like song played. I believe it plays over the scene. And it's just...
It does, yes.
Oh, it's good song. It's a good car, you know? Damn. It's...
I want to talk quite a lot about the Oh Yeah song, and I'm surprised you're wanting to talk about this car.
All right.
That's how good a car it is.
I'm not usually a car guy, you're right.
Yeah.
Like, it's a damn fine looking car. It'd be really fun to hoon around in. So that's basically all I have to offer about the car specifically. I'm sure there are like car people who are like, oh, I know all this cool stuff about it. And they could talk a lot more to it. But unfortunately, I can't. But I just think it looks sweet. Let's talk about the song.
Okay. Was this the first time you would have heard this song?
Definitely, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it wasn't, because it's also in, Need for Speed or something.
Oh, yeah, no.
Which is a lot of people in our age know it.
I would have seen this before Need for Speed, absolutely.
Oh, good point, yeah. It was also involved, so there was a department store in New Zealand in the 80s and 90s called Decca.
Yeah.
And their theme song was Decca Decca.
Yes, it was. Oh, man.
Right?
Yeah, I remember Decca Decca.
Yeah.
I believe it's Decca Decca in other places as well. It was just singular Decca here, but everywhere else it was Decca Decca.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still in Australia. I'm not like 100% on that, but yeah.
There's still a sign for it in Huntley, New Zealand, which is quite famous.
Hell yeah. So were they using the song in their ads?
Yeah, as far as I know. Or it could be one of those like common misremembered things that are just like, because Decca Decca is fun to say, everyone just thinks it was that.
It's probably very hard to chase up that fact now, like whether or not that would be real or not. But
yeah, it's hard enough even to get information about Decca.
Yeah, true. Oh man, had that sweet logo. The logo was like, it was just the black font for Decca, and then they had like a green, a yellow, and like a pink square behind it or something.
In between each letter, I think, like the Friends logo.
That's right. Yeah, it was super 90s, wasn't it? Dang.
Yeah.
Loved it. What a great place. Shout outs to you, Decca. Yeah. I'm sure you were probably all bought out by like Kmart or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I saved for so long to get a Beast Wars toy of the cheetah from Beast Wars. Oh, and then I went into Decca and I didn't have enough money for the cheetah. No. So instead of like going home and saving more money, I bought the rat from Beast Wars instead.
The significantly cheaper rat.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't remember any of the names from Beast Wars besides Waspinator because he would say his name so often.
No, that's all you need.
But do you remember what the rat was called? Just out of interest?
I feel like it was like Ratfink or something like that, but that can't be it because that's the 1950s pop culture.
Oh,
thing.
Okay. Yeah, Ratfink is that weird looking rat in a car.
Yeah,
like a hot rod. I love Ratfink. What a guy. I want Ratfink to come back.
He was Rat Trap was the Beast War.
Rat Trap, that sounds right, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, what a time.
One more thing about this song is, so they released it in 1985. It gains popularity at being in 2 films in 1986. I believe I said 95 initially. And then in '87, they were like, look, the fame is good. This is a staple. The song is huge. It's as big as it's going to get.
Yeah.
We haven't said the final message. People aren't getting what our song's about. So they re-release it with 2 extra lines. So now it has the additional lyrics. Such a good time, a really good time.
There you go. They weren't
And the ink
sure.
dries. Exactly.
Yeah. They weren't sure if you knew that it was about having a good time before.
Yeah.
You know? Now, the guy is saying, oh yeah, but that could be about anything. Like,
Exactly. He could be answering a question.
yeah. Or recalling something from his past. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But yeah, sweet. Oh, man. That's wild to, like, have a revisit of the same song a year later. Man. It's like a bizarre move, but I'm for it. If it adds to the song, then it's sweet. I like that. Just like a minor edit. I feel like people do this, but especially with, like, live performances, they'll, like, make a key change that they wanted to do earlier on, but just, like, didn't come up with it before the album released or something, you know?
Yeah. Or so often, like, the solo is better because they've been playing it live for so long. Or they add, like, a whole... The National are really good for that. They'll add, like, a whole extra coda to a song that makes it, like, rock out more. And you're like, oh, if only you'd been successfully touring this song for 10 years before you recorded it.
I mean, yeah, that would be a worthy experiment for the music industry, but I don't think it would be a very lucrative option for these musicians.
Not in the slightest.
Oh, never mind. I do like the idea of a band that only plays live for 10 years and then and everyone loves them, and then they release their first album. That's pretty sweet.
See, like, that's all doable except for the everyone loves them part.
Yeah, because no one would hear of them.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Okay. Yeah. So we've covered the car, we covered the song. We're good to move on. Cameron says that his dad loves this car more than life itself and more than his wife. And it eventually gets convinced to let Ferris drive it for this move that they're about to do to rescue Sloane from class. Rooney is out front with Sloane, saying, like, trying to console her terribly. He says that he had a grandmother once, and then is like, oh, 2 actually, which is like, come on, man. And then there's a great. We get this. We're still going with this song, I think, because we get the final beats of the like ch-ch-ka as Ferris appears in like a hat, glasses, and overcoat in front of the car as a school bus like drives off to reveal him. It's very good. And then I
was very confused because I thought you meant a Pink Floyd song, and I was like, "Is the chicka chicka hidden in Money?"
That would be great if there was.
Now I've gotcha.
If it's gonna be
it would suit it.
Yeah, if it's gonna be in any song, it's gonna be in Money, right? That's a good match.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the crossover with the Ferris Bueller song and the old Money? Eh?
Yeah.
Bring it to me. They have a big kiss here, like, for rescuing her, and like it's a bit weird because he's supposed to be playing her dad. And
didn't love that joke, and I'm very shocked that that's not what. If Rooney's that suspicious, and he's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he's just like.
And actually, no, I'm not shocked at that. I think that's pretty sweet of Rooney to be that like
that open-minded.
Yeah, he hates truancy, but he's okay with literally everything else.
Oh God, as we'll soon find out from Rooney. Honestly, Jesus. Yeah, but they sail off in this car, and I think he like realizes just as they drive away once he's been duped. The car itself has the license plate nervous without the E, which is sweet. Like it's so cartoony because it's like Cameron's family. It's like Cameron's it's his car almost. But I do love that. Later on, the dad, Ferris's dad, has a personalized license plate as well, with M Mom, referencing Mr. Mom, which is by the same director. Fun fact. That's just one that I know off the top of my head. Damn. They're
good on you.
Right around the city of Chicago with great sunglasses on and like funny
Yeah.
hats and stuff. Don't know if this is like apropos of 1980s fashion, but maybe. Like,
It is strange because Ferris was in a suit, and
Yeah.
so Cameron's so nervous and he wants them to stop and take the car back. They clearly stop and go to someone's house so Ferris can get changed out of his suit. And then
Yeah.
they're like, well, that wasn't the opportunity.
well, yeah, they definitely go back to their houses and set up some other stuff as well. Yeah, so they
Oh,
change
good point, yeah.
and they set up like these fake answer phone messages at Sloane's and Cameron's house, so that they it makes it seem like Sloane's at this funeral, which we'll
Yeah.
find out in a bit. Yeah, which is pretty clever. It's like,
Yeah.
again, tying up all these loose ends. And yeah, there's a kid going around school wanting to raise money to save Ferris. The Save Ferris campaign is starting,
Yeah.
getting its legs. I love this like side plot in this movie that like everyone in the city eventually finds out about Ferris's illness and wants to like help
Yeah.
him as if he was like about to die. It's so great.
Yeah. It blows up so quickly. It's my favorite running gag as well.
It's very good. And yeah, they go and drop this car off in the garage, in like a parking garage, and offer this like fairly sleazy guy to watch it for them so that nothing happens to the car, because Cameron's really nervous about it. And it's like, he seems fine actually, this guy, really. I called him sleazy, but he's just a like parking garage guy, you know? Yeah, so they leave the garage, and the car, we see the car driving away in the background by the parking garage guys are just out for a joyride for the rest of the film. Later on, we cut back to them doing the Mr. Gill jump over the train tracks, having a great time in slow motion, and they're bloody loving it. Shout outs to these guys. Oh, I love them. And yeah, so there's a bit where the mum returns home to check on Ferris over brain damage, and she falls for the old bait and switch where he set up this mannequin in bed through his Rube Goldberg setup. To like, so that the mannequin like will move in bed when the door opens, and there's a like track of Ferris snoring over the sound system that he has. Bloody sweet looking sound system, by the way. Like, especially for the mid-80s, this is fucking cool. Like, complains about not having a car, but he's got a computer in 1986, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then he's also got this sweet sound system. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and a mannequin.
Yeah, maybe check your privilege, Ferris.
Thank you, yes.
But yeah, they go up, they start their adventure together and go up in the world's tallest building, apparently, at the time. Fantastic shot of them putting their heads on the glass and looking down over the city. I just want to comment, there's a couple of guys in this shot that are in the foreground, and they're wearing the weirdest hats. I don't know what's going on with these guys.
Oh man, I remember weird hats, but they've completely immediately erased themselves from my memory. I was going to note it down, and the note has vanished.
I think they're like a plant for the like German-American parade that's going to happen later in the film.
Yes.
But these hats make no sense. They're great. They're like little like colorful elf hats. I love them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're hanging out. I hope they're having a day off together, these guys.
Yeah, same.
Just preparing for the parade that's about to happen. Oh, love them. But yeah, a great shot of them looking down over the city. And then, yeah, they go off to lunch at a fancy French restaurant, Chez Louis, I believe it's called. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation or not, but probably. And yeah, there's a very weird waiter guy here with a thin moustache as we get into Eclipse and the like final play of the first album of the first album. What? I didn't switch
the
albums.
First of Pink Floyd's 8th albums.
Yeah, the first of these playthroughs of the album is what I meant to say. Yeah, so Ferris like scans the guest book and decides to choose the name Abe Froman, who is the Sausage King of Chicago. Abe Froman is the best fake name.
Yeah.
It's very good. Abe Froman. Oh, it rolls off the tongue, you know?
And Into the Heart, which I think is a Simpsons joke
Yeah.
I've stolen.
Oh, I like it. That's all right. But yeah, so the waiter doesn't buy it, and then they use some phone shenanigans again to trick him.
Right?
There's a lot of like using the phone in this movie that you couldn't do now.
Yeah.
It's good. It's much like a horror movie where like everything could be resolved quite easily with cell phones. Again, like I think the same kind of thing is true with Ferris Bueller, and that it wouldn't translate very well to a modern retelling. I really hope this doesn't get remade.
Oh, same, yeah.
Because it's so of its time, and to displace it or put it in a modern era, it'd be really weird. I don't think it would land very well.
Nah, yeah, there'll be a lot more like hacking and
yeah,
weird dark webby stuff. Maybe.
Oh, I don't like that. No,
I went on the dark web so I can remap all the phones, and then
Yeah.
that will be your explanation, and then you just make the film the way it was previously made.
yeah.
Oh, all the phones got the dark web on them now.
Yeah, it's fine. It's the same film except that Ferris knows Cypher from the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just gets a favor every now and then. Yeah. But yeah, so they managed to trick this waiter. Cameron does his Peterson voice, Mr. Peterson voice, to be a policeman. It's very good. And yeah, that's how we round out playthrough 1 of the album.
I found this waiter, this maitre d', so realistic. Because...
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, this is how, you're like listening to me now, a cool podcast host. And you're like, this guy said he was uncool and scared as a child. Well, like, the most rebellious thing I did as a kid was my brother and I, after eating at this one buffet, would go and hold the door open for strangers. That was our, like, fun post-dinner activity at, like, 8 years old.
Incredible.
Yeah. And yeah, a maitre d' came and like told us off for that, and then we had to go just into the little activity room, and we watched like half an episode of Veronica's Closet, and then it was time to go home.
What?
And my family legitimately boycotted that restaurant.
Damn. I mean, fair.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of harsh. Like, you weren't really doing anything wrong.
We were letting in a lot of cold breezes, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But, like, he doesn't need to fucking take you to the activity area, the kid prison.
Yeah.
You know? Man, you just want to be Ferris Buellering it up around the restaurant.
Yeah,
you know?
Ferris Buffet-ular.
Yeah.
Ferris Mealer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's only fair. Oh, well. Never mind.
Yeah.
You've grown past that waiter interaction, that maitre d'.
Exactly. And now that restaurant is closed, so...
There you go. Get
So
dumped.
pity.
He's out in the streets.
Whoa!
How's the breeze, bitch? No. Never mind. I'm too harsh for this man now. It's flipped around the other way. And now I'm the bad guy. Oh, no. Yeah, so... yes. What happens now? Playthrough 1, playthrough 2. Here we go. Where Janie's still at school and is real pissed off about Ferris getting away with stuff, and this injustice basically drives her to figure out what's going on. Then we're having some lunch, and Ferris's dad is at this restaurant. This is the first hurdle that they're having to face, but they sort of just like sneak away. There's a great bit...
So low stakes sneak, yeah.
Yeah, so they all put on their like shades and go incognito. And Ferris clicks his fingers and then the rest click their fingers. But the finger click does sync perfectly with the start of On the Run.
Oh.
The one from Ferris. But there are 3 in a row, so, you know. But yeah, like, it's pretty good. And then yeah, On the Run as they're on the run from the dad. So that's pretty cool. You know?
Yeah. I called this scene Restaurant Daddy Dodge.
That's good. Yeah. that should be the old DVD like section for this.
Yeah.
Who came up with those? That like they had to name every part of a film,
Right.
give like chapter titles to every single thing as if it were a book. It's so strange.
Yeah, and it's a thing that went away, like came in and then went away 5 years later once DVDs had kind of vanished again.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I want to know who was doing that, the DVD makers, or if there was like it's like made for, like provided for in the script. I don't know. I can't imagine people writing chapter titles for every section of their film.
No way.
Yeah. Anyway, more sweet glasses, though, as we get into Rooney's on the prowl. He's left school looking for Ferris. I don't know what his plan is here, but he's got these, like, flip-up glasses, is why I bring that up. Which serve basically no purpose. They're, like... I don't know, like, I guess they, like, are a sunshade in their other form in some fashion. Like, they're a, like, bad visor, but... I don't know. Maybe they're for people who have glasses underneath?
I'd imagine so, yeah. Yeah, because I've gone and worn sunglasses over my eyeglasses just to be like, gotta block the sun.
That's fine. But, like, I feel like these glasses are made for that purpose, and Rooney's just wearing them even though he doesn't wear glasses, which is weird.
I reckon he was hunting some other kid on his truant and lost his actual glasses and is just trying to make the best of the situation.
He's completely blind, and that's why he's getting in all these, like, scrapes later on in the movie. He's got very poor vision. Oh, no. But yeah, his plan to find Ferris is so weird. He goes into, like, a random, like, bar or something in the middle of Chicago and, like, goes up to a random girl who he thinks is Ferris by her, like, the back of her head. And she, like, spits milkshake in his face or whatever. It's just such a weird interaction. I don't understand his plan. Does he know that, like, Ferris, like, hangs out here, maybe? But...
I think so. Or it's just what he assumes the kids are into. I would have loved if it... And again, this is a Simpsons joke. If he'd gone to somewhere he thought was cool and was like, where are all the kids?
Yeah, that would be better if he just went to a bar full of adults, like, in the middle of the day. Be pretty great.
Kind of is what this place is.
Basically, yeah. There's people, there are, like, young people hanging out, like, playing some games at the arcade machines, you know? It's all good. So, yeah, on the TV screen, Rooney doesn't notice, but Ferris and crew are at the baseball game here.
Yeah.
Watching the Bears, is it? Or is that a joke? And I'm just
That's a joke, yeah. The Bears are the football team.
That makes sense. They're at a baseball game, and Ferris catches a fly ball out from the out in the stands, which is sweet. See, I know some sports stuff.
And he does it in time to the juddering synths of On the Run.
Yeah, baby. Catching that ball. And then, catching a fly ball would be pretty cool, but it would really hurt, like, because Ferris says that he thinks he's broken his thumb. I reckon because these baseballers, like, smack these baseballs so hard, it'd be really scary catching one without a glove, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm still dying at because these baseballers catch these baseballs and pitch these baseballs.
Hey, man, that's how they say it on the baseball TV, you know? That's how they do it.
You're like an almost retired cop going undercover to stop, like, a baseball team dealing drugs.
You seen these baseballers? They throw the balls, and then the other team hits the balls. Then they run around in, I think, the diamond? Yeah. They go for first base, second base, third base, home.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a home run. See, I know. It's fine.
You got it all.
Yeah. But yeah, they God damn, that was so bad. There's a brief cutaway to the, like, front of the stadium, and it says "Save Ferris" on the sign.
Yes,
which is so good. And yeah, all the after this, all the clocks are going off as Rooney decides to pay a visit to Ferris's house to try and figure out what's going on. And he's wired up the doorbell with, like, a pre-recorded message. The intercom will start pretending as if Ferris is home. It's very good in that he, like, mentions he's like, I want to prevent myself from having further school absences by making my sickness worse, you know? It's so good. But Rooney figures it out by being, like, kind of a bastard and not giving up hitting the doorbell again. And it starts playing the same thing again, you know? And then, we get into a sort of reverse Dennis the Menace vibe here as Rooney's desperately trying to break into a house of a child.
Messed up.
It's weird. It's bad. The movie treats it as weird and bad as well.
Oh, for sure,
it's aware of how messed up this is. But Rooney is like pulling out all the stops. He wants to catch Ferris. He's got this weird vendetta against him. It's very silly. He does some more like slapstick stuff happens where he's getting his shoes stuck in the mud, and then there's like a dog chasing him. Oh, it's all kinds of crazy. There's another cutaway during the sequence, and we see our boys from the garage just having a time of their lives in this car, which is great. I love to see it.
Flying around to the solo of Time.
Time?
Right?
Yeah, Time.
Yeah.
It's real nice.
Yeah.
And then we get to the best scene in the movie now, which is the art gallery scene.
Yes.
This is just here for flavor, really, and that it's just like, let's check out some cool art in the middle of this movie. I really love the activities that Ferris has chosen for his day off. It's like very cultured and fun. He goes to like a cool restaurant. Yeah. He goes to the art gallery. He goes to a parade, and he goes to like a swimming pool and has a swim. It's a fun day. He's having a great time. It's like it's again, we're like, this is being intercut with time, and it's like all the cuts are matching quite well with the time signature as well, which is nice.
Ooh,
but it's just like a lot of cool artistic shots of like beautiful paintings here at the art gallery in Chicago. It's stunning.
I was praying though that time would wrap up. Like I was like, come on song, because imagine the scene to Pink Floyd's hit song "Great Gig in the Sky."
It would have been perfect. That would have been really lovely. But no, we're still in the like roaring time solo, and then into the vocals from Dave Gilmour, of course. And it works, but it would have been markedly improved by a bit of Great Gig behind it, but still lovely. So it's a very artsy part of the movie, and then also like a lot of artsy kind of fun shots with them just like enjoying the art, like posing in front of stuff, and just nice like shot composition stuff. There's a good bit with Cameron staring into a painting. Oh, who is it by? What's his name? He's a French, like, pointillist guy. I don't know the name, sorry.
Sorry, art fans.
Georges something. Anyway, I wish I knew. But it's this very famous piece of, like, all these people going around a summer's day in the park. I think is like, that's pretty close to what the title is. He like stares into the face of this like young daughter, and it's like a crash zoom back and forth between the two, getting closer and closer and closer until you can see like all the little dots that make up the painting. It's really cool. I believe that this is like Cameron sort of disassociating with his own identity, right? He's like he's figuring out some stuff in this sequence. He's very anxious as a guy, and he's trying to enjoy this day, but this painting has captured his soul, you know? And he's just suddenly having a terrible time, because after this scene, he's like really wanting to leave, and Ferris is like disappeared, and we get into a bit of Great Gig now as we're in the parade. It's parade time. Cameron's talking about how he thinks that Ferris doesn't care about him, and that he's having like a terrible day, and that he's just doing all this stuff for himself rather than wanting Cameron and Sloane to have a good time as well. Yeah. And there's we're approaching the parade. Sorry, at this point, they're driving.
Yeah, we're in a taxi.
Yeah, a taxi cab.
That's Chicago accent almost.
I guess, yeah. Give me that deep dish pizza.
I'm in a taxi.
Hey, I'm in a taxi. Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, another bit of like brief comedy here is we've got the dad is again in the neighboring cab, and
Yeah.
they immediately like switch so that it's Sloane like alone in the cab wearing sunglasses. Yeah, it's fun.
And then while they were shooting the scene, obviously, John Hughes was like, Sloane alone? But what if it was Home Alone?
That gives me a great idea.
I did love, like, Sloane's kind of a bit of an underwritten character, but
yeah,
this is the moment I realized, like, she is, like, Ferris is maybe, like, chaotic evil because he's after himself. Like,
he's
there's
really,
a turn
though.
when it turns out it's about Cameron.
Yeah, true.
But Sloane is just pure chaos. Like, she'll make a kissy face at her boyfriend's dad.
Yeah.
She doesn't care.
That is wild.
Yeah, fake that her grandparents are dead.
Yeah, just to get out of school. She's honestly kind of worse than Ferris, right? Like,
oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, she's what he created with his led astray.
Oh, God. Yeah, she was such a nice person
until this day off.
Yeah.
And previous days off. Oh, no.
I bet like old Rooneys one day watching the news and he's like, oh, this cult leader's gonna be Ferris, it's gonna be Ferris, and it's just Sloane Peterson, and he's like, I don't remember who that is. Switches it off, doesn't realize.
He doesn't remember? That's so sad. Oh, God. That's so much worse that he doesn't know. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
His one chance to be right.
Yeah. Your one chance, Mr. Rooney. Please. So we get into the parade proper, and Ferris has his big song and dance number out here, Twist and Shout, which he dedicates to Cameron to prove that he's had a good day. Basically, it's like he dedicates it to him, to someone who feels they haven't had a good day or something like that.
Yeah. This scene is bonkers. I watched this clean before the Pink Floyd watch. I legit out loud, like I've seen this movie before, but watching it again kind of like as an adult, I legit out loud was like, what is going on?
It's bananas. The whole city gets involved in this.
Right?
It's the like...
A guy's like doing a flip.
Yeah. There's like people up on like doing construction work or painting the windows of the skyscrapers, just grooving around. There's a choreographed dance sequence that breaks out on some steps. There's like even the dad's having a boogie up in his office. Everyone's getting involved.
All to a 17-year-old on a parade lip syncing to a song that was 23 years old at the time.
Yeah, man, it's wild. It's a great song, but like,
for sure.
It's crazy. Again, something that would never happen, but is such a like celebration of what this whole day is about. It's like a celebration of living in the moment and like feeling good and like enjoying yourself. It's a very positive thing.
Heck yeah.
And it bloody
I like to
pops
believe
off.
that... Oh, yeah. I like to believe the Beatles were outlawed in Chicago until that moment or something.
Hell yeah.
And they're all hearing it for the first time.
It's just everyone in Chicago collectively coming together and being like, hey, the Beatles are pretty cool. Yeah, it's very good.
They're like saxophone solos of Pink Floyd's Money happening over this, like, highlight how insane this scene is.
Definitely. Seeing it with other music really, like, pointed out how nuts it is in the movie that this happens. But, yeah, it's great. I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's the big showy centerpiece of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and it rules. So, I'm happy it's here. But it is bananas. And
it's such a big scene that the next scene of them after we've seen the next Jeannie and Rooney, which we'll get to, is just them talking about how cool that was.
Yeah. And fair enough, because it was sweet.
Heck yeah.
It's really fun. They like have to decompress themselves after they're like, man, that was pretty wild, huh? Like, you're up there on the float, man. What? It's great. And there's like during the like celebration, during this like everyone getting involved, there's a brief interaction between Sloane and Cameron, which is really important that I want to cover. Cameron like directly compares himself to Ferris. He says that Ferris is like can do anything, and Cameron, he thinks that he can't do anything. and that he's saying that like Ferris is this like fearless, like almost sociopath, like genius kid. And Cameron can't hope to like become that. Basically, he's saying like he wishes he could be him, but also like he is so happy to have him as a friend because he brings Cameron like knowing him brings him out like of his comfort zone and like gets him to have fun. You know, he's thankful that he has this crazy person in his life. You know, it's great.
It does give some like sad fuel to that Ferris isn't real theory.
Oh, definitely.
We're not talking about that.
Yeah, it's also good in that he says that he just talks with Sloane about what they're going to do after high school, and like he doesn't know. He knows he'll go to college, but he doesn't know what for or what he's going to do after that. And Sloane's the same. She has no idea what she wants to do after high school because she's a real person. And Ferris like doesn't care is the important difference. Like he'll end up somewhere doing something and it will be great. He'll be having a great time because that's just how it is for him, you know? Like he won't care if it's like flipping burgers or whatever. He'll be having like a great time. That's the whole idea. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, which is very sweet for this film that is, and especially a character like Ferris who is quite, you know, there's a materialistic side to him.
Oh yeah.
The idea that you can like, your success isn't really judged by an outsider kind of status. It's judged on how happy you are. It's quite like a sweet thing.
Yeah, it's judged on like experience more than anything else, right? Like having a fantastic life is the mark of having a fantastic life. Like it's clever. It's good. It makes Ferris much more redeemable, I think. We get into the money bit of this performance, and the older people that I was talking about before, the people dancing on the stairs, they are in time, Gareth.
Oh,
they're in time with money, and it's freaking me out.
Which is bonkers because that's 7/4 time to Twist and Shout, which I'm pretty sure is 4/4.
It's 4. It's straight 4/4 for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's just because of the cuts between, like, this is cut between the rest of the parade and the performance, etc. And we only get brief snippets, but it's in sync. It's weird. It's very jarring seeing people like have a choreographed dance sequence to money just in general. So it was pretty impressive. It freaked me out. But yeah, everyone had a grand old time, and the performance ends with Ferris doing a trust fall into the like people who have no idea what's happening. It's so good.
And that syncs up really well with the descending scale of money.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's very nice.
He descends with them, yeah.
Yeah. I would have loved it if he did like some crowd surfing. I feel like that would have really fit with the theme of the film. But it doesn't do that. Never mind. Rooney is meanwhile still at the house, and he accepts like a bouquet of flowers on Ferris's behalf at the door. And then, like, uses this to, like, drug the dog that's been chasing him for somehow. Like, I don't...
he chucks the vase at the dog.
Oh,
it's
what? That's so much
up.
worse. Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so is breaking and entering into a miner's home.
Oh, true, yeah. Obviously. Yeah. But, yeah, like, I don't know. It's just mean to the dog. I didn't realize that that's what he did. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I hate you even more, Mr. Rooney. Jeannie runs home to like check on old mate Ferris. Like she runs into his room immediately.
Yeah.
And like sees the mannequin that sits bolt upright and is like, "You bastard," basically. And then Rooney takes this opportunity to sneak into the house because he thinks Ferris has come home. And there's this like cat and mouse kind of thing where they're both sneaking around trying to catch Ferris in the act. But Jeannie jumps out and sees that, and Rooney jumps out at the same time, and she like screams and then kicks him like 3 times in the face, like she's Chun-Li or something.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
What was Rooney's end goal though? Like if you catch a child in his own house sick, you've proven nothing. Yeah. You've just put yourself on a list.
Yeah, it's no good. He shouldn't have gone in the house at all, but like...
No.
I guess he was like he could be like, I came home and you weren't there, or I went to your house and you weren't there, and like he would just wanted to like catch him in the act or whatever. But I don't know, it doesn't make any sense really. But it's just messed up. But yeah, he gets booted in the face here for his lack of judgment, and gets knocked out cold. The guys come back with the Ferrari as the crew are like decompressing after that parade performance, and we go into some us and them as they like manage to get away with their like huge day out in this Ferrari that they've had. They do this like little shuffle dance. I love this.
Yeah, I wish it synced with something, but it's awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't sync with anything, but it's their like little bro move that they do. It's really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, a great day. It should be their great day out.
Yeah.
You know? It's good.
If they do it, instead of doing a remake, they should do like a midquel, which is just someone else's day off that's influenced by this other day off.
That would be cool. I'd be into that. Yeah. It's just someone that like Ferris at like someone at Ferris's school that's also doing this stuff, and we just see like Matthew Broderick in the background, or like Matthew Broderick plays like the dad or something. That would work. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
There you go, Hollywood. We're done it.
Alan Ruck wants there to be a sequel when they're in their 70s, and they have a day off from the nursing home.
That's a great call.
Yeah, right?
I'm into that. That's like a sort of Cocoon vibe. It's very fun.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Oh.
I feel like that would be even like more dark though, because I feel like it would get into some like ennui kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know? Which is, I feel like it could get into that territory, but I feel like it'd be alright. They'd handle it okay.
Yeah, we're to get some good syncs with the line "One Day Closer to Death."
Yeah, definitely.
So that's all we need.
Yeah, perfect. Shout outs Cocoon for us. Oh, what a good time that was.
Yeah.
So Mr. Rooney, he gets a ticket for his car, and eventually it gets towed as well. Like it's just bad going to worse for Mr. Rooney. This is what comes of breaking into a kid's house. Not cool.
Yeah.
And Janie over the like in-house intercom tells him to leave, and like dissuades him from like attacking her, which is pretty dark. But again, but like it played for laughs here. And his wallet falls out of his pants here, which have been shredded by the dog attack. And they're on their way home, and Cameron's feeling like pretty good about this stuff. He's had some revelations already, and he's feeling okay. But then he takes a look at the old odometer on the car, and there's 3,000 miles on it, which is ridiculously high for a single day.
That's three Vanessa Carlton songs.
Absolutely. That's a long
6
time.
Proclaimers.
That's a lot of piano on the back of a truck, you know, like that's a lot. But yeah, so he freaks out, and we get like a minor sync for me here. The boys in the Floyd are singing Black and Blue in the middle of us and them here. And when they say black, we're inside Cameron's mouth pulling out as he screams like in anguish about the situation. And then we cut to the sky when they say blue, showing the scream echoing around all of Chicago. So that's some nice sync there.
That's very good.
Yeah. Janie answers the door thinking that the police have come, and it's just like, how would you describe this? This is like a singing prostitute, I guess. It's very strange.
Yeah, singing telegrams. Shout out to Clue, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but she's the nurse who likes to ... Gareth. So okay. It's weird that it's a telegram / prostitute. Like, they're enterprising, but bizarre.
Yeah. You know, you gotta make it all work.
Yeah, you gotta do what works, I guess. Play to your strengths.
The 80s were a hard time. Yeah.
Oh no. So Ferris is like pretty upset about how things have turned out, and he really wanted this day to be like a gift for Cameron. He's talking to camera, telling us this, and so he sees this as sort of the last hurrah, and that like he's going to go off to college, and he feels like he won't really see Cameron again after this moment. like going to like they'll go off to different colleges probably because he wouldn't be able to get into the one that Cameron gets into, and then they work and they try and hang out, but wouldn't be nearly as close to what it was like when they were friends in high school. So he's like, he wanted this to be like a big special thing, really. He also talks about wanting to marry Sloane and how that was for real. Like that's really what he wants. Like he just is so sure of himself and he's figured everything out, right? Like but this thing with Cameron,
he is aware it's all going to change.
He's like he is definitely aware that this is not like the same for everyone else in his life, and that like they're definitely going to be moving on and changing, whereas he might be Peter Pan forever, but like other people around him aren't going to stay the same. So yeah, it's interesting. And yes, meanwhile Cameron's like catatonic in the background. And they try and like wake him up by, I guess, like taking him to a like more serene kind of place. They put him in like a pool chair at the end of a diving board.
Yeah,
which is weird. I don't know if how that's supposed to help, but they sure do that. Well, they just hang out in the jacuzzi and are like, "Hey, come into the jacuzzi. It's real nice." It's I don't know if that's a good friend move, but
nah.
Anyway, Cameron uses this opportunity. He like flips, like falls into the pool and just sort of sits at the bottom there. What is this? Like The Graduate, basically.
Yeah, good call.
And yeah, like they think he's drowning and so rescue him. And Cameron's like was like either Cameron was faking his freak out here or like he got over it, like in this instance, right?
I think it was, more getting over it.
Yeah, he's decided that it doesn't really matter as much as he thought.
Pink Floyd say the old man died when Cameron's alive, which, bit of an anti-sync, but Cameron is the old man of the three of them because he's 29.
It's true, definitely. Maybe the old man in this instance is his like anxiety, like leaving and dying in this moment.
His anxiety about his old man, his father.
Perhaps. That's just a theory, though. I don't know. I don't know. We come back to...
We're the experts on how this syncs with Pink Floyd, so I think we can call that a fact, not a theory.
All right, that's a fact. That's a straight-up fact. Put it on IMDb under strict facts. All right? Is there a facts section? There's a trivia section, but is there like a honest-to-God facts section?
Stone-cold facts?
Yeah. There should be.
There will be now, because of us.
Movie facts. Here on the pod. We go into Any Color You Like as we see what's going on with Jeannie. She's been taken into the police station for making a phony phone call about having a home invader. They don't believe her at all that someone was in the house, which is messed up. Like,
this infuriated me.
Yeah, this sucks. Step it up, Chicago police. What are you doing? But who should be here but greaser punk Charlie Sheen? Very young Charlie Sheen. I guess he's not that young in this, right? Like, how young would
younger
he be?
Than he
He'd probably
currently.
Be. That's true. Definitely. For a movie made in the past, he is definitely younger than now. And he's looking young.
He would have been 21.
He's like. Okay, that's pretty young. That's more accurate to like having a high schooler fall in love with you. That makes more sense. But he's like this bad boy in a leather jacket type. And he's like trying to like smooth talk Janie. He even like fucking negs her. It's really gross and weird, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know about this guy.
I don't think we should, I think he might have trouble in the future, this actor.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe this was a warning sign for a young Charlie Sheen. Who knows? But, Jeannie for sure falls for him. Later on, we see them, like, making out. And, she is, like, completely smitten with him. And they're going to talk later or whatever. It's sort of unexplored in the rest of this movie. I don't really know why this is in here. But they had Charlie Sheen on call, so here he is in the film, right? It's kind of weird, but sweet. Here he is. He imparts some like advice to Janie here in this moment about like how she's too caught up in what Ferris is doing. She should be thinking about herself and how she should like she shouldn't be like getting upset at other people for having a good time and enjoying their life. She should be trying to make her own life better, right? Is the idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And yeah, we get into brain damage as we're doing probably like other than the parade scene, this is probably the most iconic part of the whole film as well.
Yeah, this scene's beautiful.
The sequence here with the car, they're trying to take they're trying to reverse the odometer by reversing the car, which is just such good like kid logic. It's very funny. And yeah, they like have it up on blocks trying to reverse it. And yeah, Cameron's out of this experience. Cameron's like talking about how he's gotten some like perspective about everything and how he's sick of being afraid of his dad and all this stuff. It's a huge breakthrough for him, and it gets like even more intense as this goes on. Because he goes over and checks the odometer and it's not going down, and like he's like really he's freaking out about it, but not in the way you'd expect. He's saying that like he's really sick of his dad, and it's like he knows that he's going to catch flack from his dad for this because like he's not supposed to take the car out, etc. And yeah, he like just takes it out on the car, his like awful relationship with his dad. He just starts like kicking the shit out of this Ferrari.
Yeah.
Like it's very intense. And the other two are just sort of watching like stunned while this happens, because he like gets like really angry and terrifying in this moment, you know? It's like he's really working through some stuff. And even he like scares himself in this moment. He's just like, whoa, I kicked the shit out of it. Damn, like,
yeah,
wow. And then, yeah, he's like, okay, I'm going to like, I'll take the fall for this. It's okay. Like, it's no worries. I can't wait to see the look on my dad's face. And he like leans on it with his foot. And this is enough to set the car flying. Like it knocks it off its blocks at the back and it reverses out the screen window in the back of the garage and flies into the forest below. It's amazing. It's like a very quick it's a slow-mo shot of the car falling, but we only see it falling. We don't see where it lands. And everyone's like, oh shit. Like he destroyed the car before. He'd like beat up the car, but this is on another level. Like the car is now destroyed. The way this is shot is really nicely as well, in that like Sloane and Ferris run over to look and sort of turn back and look at Cameron, and we don't see what the car looks like until Cameron like comes over himself, but he's like in shock. It's really nice. This just good blocking in this, right, of how this scene plays out. And this happens over the silence at the end of the album, when he's walking over to look at the damage. It's really cool. So like we're just getting the heartbeats and the silence as like this incredibly dramatic thing has happened. So that's a nice sync for me.
Heck yeah.
And yeah, playthrough 3 starts up and we've got Ferris saying that like he's like really shook by this, and he's saying, no, I'll take the fall. This is too much. Like your dad will like kill you. This is really awful. He says, I have to take some responsibility for this because like I convinced you to take the car out. And Cameron's like, no, you didn't. Like I could have said no. I could have like stopped this. This is like what I want, really. Like he really wants to like develop this relationship with his father that he has. He's like had this huge breakthrough and he's like, yeah, we'll just have a talk. Like he says it's going to be good for him and his relationship. It's really, really powerful. It's a really cool scene.
Yeah, it's kind of good emotional like, kind of like advice as well. It's like, you're going to have to talk about things.
Yeah.
This is the awful fan fiction or fan theory. This is the part they say is real, and when it becomes real life is just like he had a day, he imagined he was having a day off with friends, and then he just kicked a car and then woke up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's intense.
Yeah.
So are the friends there in the scene? I don't know. Or are they just still
I think
part
he's
of his...
imagining them, and then like at least he's learning the same lesson. But yeah.
Okay. It does play, it would work kind of, in that they like sort of drop their whole like character in this moment because Cameron's having this revelation in his own moment. They don't know like how to deal with it, and he knows how to deal with it. It's like a complete flip of the power dynamic. It's really cool. But yeah, it's great. It's a really sweet piece of character development in a film, and it's really well acted and really well shot, and it's awesome. So it's the best part of Ferris Bueller. That's my take. I've had a best line, a like best scene, and now this is like the best part of Ferris Bueller. Like, this is why you watch the film, I think.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah. And yeah, now it's just sort of like wrapping up the other story beat. We've had like the catharsis of the movie has happened now, and it's just like winding down. We've got like the mum picks up Janie from the police station. There's some like weird awkwardness there with Charlie Sheen that I'm gonna breeze on by. And then Ferris says goodbye to Sloane and gives her a like big dramatic kiss. And as he looks at her watch on her wrist, and when he does that, we get into On the Run, like dead on, and now we are racing on home. It's On the Run chase sequence time, Gareth. Yes, I'm very happy that this is happening. We get this has been done to death like through other people like making fun of it or like paying homage to it, I guess.
Family Guy did it shot for shot at one point.
Oh, really? Wow.
I think Family Guy did every scene in this shot for shot at different points in its show. It's a weird show.
Dang, impressive. Okay. He must love it. Like, who's the guy behind Family Guy? I've forgotten his name.
Who's the Family Guy himself?
Who is Mr. Family Guy?
Seth MacFarlane, who also showed up in a Gilmore Girls episode I was watching.
Oh, wow. Good on you, Seth. All right. With the girls at that coffee shop, Luke's coffee shop. It's like the one thing I know about Gilmore Girls. I know more about baseball than I know about Gilmore Girls.
That's the test we give everyone. What do you know more about, baseball or Gilmore Girls?
Yeah. I don't know what that determines on our show, but it's something that we need to know. It's part of our rider. So yeah, he races on home. There's a good bit where he introduces himself to some ladies that he spots just sunbathing as like a little gag. It's very good. It's a chase between him and his parents and Janie, who is driving his mum home from the police station. And the crash sound and On the Run doesn't really sync with much. The dad gets like trapped behind an old lady who's just swerving all over the road, which is just like, there's just like some minor comedy bits in here. And
some real malarkey.
Yeah, just absolute malarkey going on. There's the bit that I think was made fun of in the Family Guy thing that we mentioned, where Ferris jumps in like off a trampoline and is falling in slow motion for, I think, 4 separate shots. Just the same fall, and we see other people moving at full speed while this is happening. It's kind of good.
And that's happening with the clocks of time, which
man,
blows my little mind. Like, if there were no other syncs in this film, that would be a sync to get you in the top half.
Heck yeah. He is. Oh he's in that slow-mo land of falling over clocks.
Yeah, time's run out because it is 6
so
o'clock.
Sweet.
Yeah,
and he's trying to get home,
which time ends with trying to get home. Oh,
yeah, it all tracks, it all works.
Yeah, baby,
nice. Mr. Rooney catches him at the last minute. He's like here on the doorstep, all fucked up from his day, holding the spare key in his hand, and he's like, "I've got your ass. Like, you're gonna be expelled, or you're gonna have to repeat this multiple times." And it's his like big victory. But Janie comes and like puts aside her differences with Ferris because fuck this guy, and she's like, "Oh, thank you for driving home from the hospital. That was really nice of you. Like, can you believe he would have tried to walk home from the hospital by himself? Crazy. Oh, by the way, you left your wallet on our floor." And it's like, So like Janie knows exactly who was in the house.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I hope she tries to leave that school. Like, I would not want to go to that school.
Yeah. God, no. Well, presumably she's graduating at the same time. I'm assuming that Janie and Ferris are like the same age in this instance. Like that's how what I think anyway. Or maybe she's younger, but I don't know.
Well, that's the only thing. Yeah, I assumed she was older until I actually had to think about it and be like, well, if Ferris is leaving, then who's the
right? It's tricky because they're definitely both adults. Like,
yeah.
Oh well.
They're both in their mid-20s.
Yeah. So who's to say what the canon lore of Ferris Bueller is, but never mind. Anyway, he manages to get away with it. He runs in and undoes all his Rube Goldberg shit and gets into bed and uses the baseball that he caught at the baseball game where the baseball man threw the baseball and he caught it. He throws that at the stereo to turn it off last minute and goes back to doing his like schmaltzy little cutie voice of a little kid for his family, and it's all good. He got away with it. And he sees he repeats the life moves pretty fast mantra of the movie, and that's it. We get into the credits, and over the credits we see the remainder of Mr. Rooney's misadventures, who has his final humiliation plays out over the credits. With him having to like get on a school bus filled with his like pupils or people that know him from school, and they're all like looking at him, and he's all fucked up. And it's drawn out and really slow because the whole thing has to play over the whole credits.
It kind of annoyed me that it was like you're clearly just making this scene last the whole credits. Like, the rest of the film's so much zippier than this scene.
I think it works. It definitely works with the soundtrack, which is again our ball kind of thing, because it's just like it's drawn out because Mr. Rooney's gone through this harrowing day and is just like crawling his way home, and that's the whole feeling of the scene for me. So I think it works. But and the final like fuck you is that he sees a kid has written "Save Ferris" on his like school binder, and he just looks like straight to camera, being like, "Damn." And that's it. And then we get a final shot of Ferris in this, which is really fun. He's just like, "You're still here? Go home. The movie's over." It's so weird that he's been addressing the camera all movie. But it's just funny that he does it like for this last little bit. It's very weird. Yeah, but
very iconic.
It is definitely iconic. It's good. And that's how the movie ends, baby. That's that stuff. It ends basically. Where are we? Like right in Great Gig, basically. And there's no real syncs over this whole sequence, sadly. I was paying pretty close attention to the credits rolling. I was like, because we don't usually get stuff that we can do with the credits.
No, not at all. Usually, like, we've done Marvel and you've had to just wait through, like, 4 songs worth of credits.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's no fun. At least we had something to watch and, like, pay attention to. But
yeah.
Nothing to report there. So, what did you think? How did it sync, Gareth?
Oh, what did I think and how did it sync?
Please tell me.
I'd say the entire first playthrough of the album, barely anything. Like, it was a cold, empty plate where they were promising syncs. But, things start to heat up. The plate, I don't understand food metaphors, apparently.
You know as much about food as I know about baseball.
Yeah. Food grows on the plate, right? And then
I think so.
That's how that works. Yeah.
You heat a plate enough, food appears on it.
Yeah.
That's what microwaves do, I think.
Yeah, right? So the plate starts circling in playthrough 2, and we do have some food appearing on it. It still would have kept us in the lower half, I think.
Yeah.
Up until when Ferris gets on the run.
Yeah.
And then jumps to the clocks. Like, you can't deny that.
Yeah, man. And we do also have that really sweet sync with the car sequence, the car being destroyed.
Yeah.
I think that syncs really well as well. So I'm feeling good.
And
about
the old
that.
man died.
Yeah.
We can't argue with that personal science.
Yeah. The personal science. Dang. Okay. Yeah. So I'm feeling good about it. Are you as well?
Yeah.
Nice.
I am. I'm willing to give it the number we seem to give everything at the moment.
Positive plus score.
Yeah. Are you thinking an 8?
Okay. Yeah. I'm happy with that. A big old 8.
Big old
Happy.
8. Okay.
Big 8. It's bigger than the other 8s for no reason. Yeah.
Okay, so we've had 8s before that, are faking being 8s, 8s that are bluffed their way to being 8s. This 8 is a big 8.
It's a real 8. It's like 2 point sizes higher, at least, than the other
Okay.
8s on the graph. So that you know that this one's, we're feeling real good about this 8, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. Okay. That's this show wrapped up, baby. What are we doing next week, Gareth?
Well, so this film, we got a good result from watching a film that is a lot of wish fulfillment. So, you know what I'm wishing for is more syncs. So I'm going to ask cinema's greatest genie, like a genie that you didn't think this guy could nail a role in a kid's film, but he brought something so iconic. He changed the game entirely. Like what this guy did for the role of genies in cinema, especially for the 90s, like, you got to admit, this is so good. I'm talking, of course, about Shaq in the movie Kazam.
Yes, I knew it was Kazam as soon as you started talking. No, I'm ready. I'm hype. I've never seen this movie before. I'm very excited.
I have.
Oh, no. Well, should I not be excited?
I, behind the scenes, could not think of a film this week, and I was really struggling. But, then Shaq just appeared into my mind.
Now he scuttled into view with his powerful bod, his genie limbs. Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready to have a chat about him and how he syncs with the old Floyd, eh? Can he grant our wish for a good sync? Find out.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Golly me. Until then...
Golly me.
This has been Sync Floyd. You can find it on Twitter and Facebook at Sync Floyd Pod, Letterboxd at Sync Floyd, and I've been Gareth Blackler, aka Ferris Bueller.
Oh, I've been James Barron, aka oh no, I've forgotten what it was. Cameron something? No.
Slamron
Fry. Thank you. I'd forgotten. It was so long ago.
And we'll see you on the dark side of the moon. Go home. Are you still here? Go home.
Go home. The podcast's over.
What do you mean you're listening to a podcast in your home? Go home.
Go home.
You're listening to this podcast on your drive to work? No, turn around. Go home.
Turn around. Give up. It's like,
over. Go home.
It's like 9 a.m.
Give up. It's 9 a.m.
You're done.
Give up.
Yeah, give up. That's our lesson for this week. Goodbye. Yeah.